In the 1950s, just like in America, Japanese people were addicted to stimulants like amphetamines, and the blue-collar workers relied on them to get their work done. But the Japanese government must have felt that having a doped-up population might not be great, like in the long run. So they passed a bunch of laws stopping the sale of stimulant drugs. And I guess people freaked out, okay? I mean, they had no idea how they were going to make it through their day. I mean, it's like, imagine if our government totally banned coffee. Oh my God, people would die. People would die. They would lose their shit. The Japanese government essentially forced the entire nation to just go cold turkey. But thankfully, a company showed up and saved the day. In 1962, the big brains at a company called Taisho Pharmaceuticals invented something called Lipovitan D. And my friends, let me introduce to you the world's first energy drink as we know it. Now, this first energy drink was more of an energizing herbal tonic. Like, it was sold in tiny bottles. You know, like the bottles of booze you'd find in hotel mini bars. You know, fun size. And I guess it smelled and tasted like cough syrup. And even the name itself made it sound kind of like a medicine. Now, ads for this tonic claimed it could help with, quote, physical fatigue, lack of appetite, nutritional deficiency, fever, and exhaustion. Bold claims. And the product was targeted at people who worked in factories, office jobs, and people like truck drivers who had to stay awake for long periods of time. Now, this tonic in Japan was made with B vitamins and caffeine, but the main ingredient was something called taurine. Taurine is an amino acid that can be found in foods with protein, like meat, you know? And that is how the pharma company got around Japan's stimulant ban, because taurine is organic. The company claimed our bodies use taurine to create energy. And mixed reviews on this. Like, there are many experts who dispute this claim, but whether or not this is true doesn't really matter because people believed it was true. Lipovitan D flew off the shelves in Japan, and it paved the way for this next product. So over in Thailand, a man was coming up with his own version of an energy drink. And little did he know, he was going to have a massive global impact that would create one of the world's most recognizable brands. An icon, a legend, wow. Sometime between 1923 and 1932, we're not sure. Seems like someone got the numbers flipped or something, but a man named Chaleo Yuvidia was born in Thailand. Chaleo's parents were Chinese immigrants, and the family was pretty poor. They sold fruit at the market and were also duck farmers. Chaleo didn't receive much formal education, but he was very ambitious. And after working for his parents for a while, Chaleo moved to the capital of Thailand, Bangkok. Anyway, for a while, Chaleo was a salesman pushing antibiotics. And eventually, he leaves that job and creates his own company called TC Pharmaceuticals. But a few years after starting the company, Chaleo came up with the product that would change his life. In 1975, Chaleo claimed that he was hit with divine inspiration. Yes, and this divine inspiration told him that he should invent an energy drink. And that's exactly what he did. Like in Japan, his target market was everyday consumers, like blue-collar workers. And this drink was made with water, sugar, caffeine, taurine, and B vitamins, like the usual suspects. But the branding is what sets Chaleo's product apart. He invented an iconic logo. Set against a yellow sun in the background, the logo featured two bulls charging at each other. Yeah, the color of these bulls, red. Chaleo called his creation Krating Daeng, which translates to Red Bull, or as Red Bull. Yeah, Red Bull! What? Yeah, I know. Chaleo said he chose the bulls because they represented strength. And he picked the color red because it symbolizes tenacity. And the yellow sun in the background signified vitality. Wow. I want one now. Chaleo started selling Krating Daeng in pharmacies all around Thailand. And it was an immediate hit. But the thing is, it's a hit in only Thailand and Japan. That is, until a toothpaste salesman shows up and made the deal of a lifetime. The year is 1984, and a man named Dietrich Mateschitz is on a business trip to Thailand. And you see, Dietrich is working for a German cosmetics company, and his job was to sell toothpaste. So he traveled all the way to Bangkok to figure out how to market his company's toothpaste in Thailand. I mean, it makes sense. People brush their teeth in Thailand too, you know? So he lands at the Bangkok International Airport and finds a ride. And he's on his way from the airport to the center, or the city center, when he just he gets hit with a massive case of jet lag. I don't know if they stopped at a convenience store or the driver gave it to him, but we know that Dietrich had a Krating Daeng Red Bull. And Dietrich is on record saying, "1 glass and the jet lag was gone." So Dietrich is like, "Oh, screw the toothpaste. Take me to this guy who makes this magic drink, you know?" Somehow Dietrich gets a hold of Chalio, and the two of them sit down and they talk. So Dietrich says that he wants to bring Krating Daeng to the Western world, and he's certain that they're gonna make millions. Of course, Chalio thinks okay, this is a great idea. So they struck a deal in 1984 and came up with a partnership. They each invested $500,000 into a new company called Red Bull GmbH. They each have a 49% stake in the company, and the remaining 2% goes to Chalio's son. They shake hands, and history is made. Over the next 3 years, Dietrich goes into his energy drink lab, working with experts to reformulate the product for Western tastes. He keeps the iconic logo, but rebrands the product as a trendy, upscale drink. In 1987, Dietrich began selling Red Bull in Europe, and he sold it at posh places like ski resorts. And right out the gate, Dietrich is sending a message that this isn't a beverage company. No, this is a lifestyle brand. And to go along with that cool lifestyle, the drink was pretty pricey. The cans were only 8 ounces, but they were at least double the price of a can of Coke. But it didn't matter. You know, the drink took Europe by storm. It's kind of funny though, because it's this guy was selling toothpaste, you know, and now he's selling a product that is rotting people's teeth out. Or allegedly, I don't know. But it's kind of funny. Life, huh? It'll get ya. Meanwhile, over in America, the energy drink market is trying to figure itself out. And it's throwing just all sorts of hilarious stuff at the wall. I mean, in the mid-80s, Jolt Cola hits the market. Their slogan was literally all the sugar and twice the caffeine. And I guess they had a bunch of silly flavors as well. One of them was called White Lightning. Yeah, but it was grape flavored. Kind of confusing, right? So yeah. And then there's another one called Citrus Climax. I drink that, that's hot. Yeah. Then in 1989, Pepsi drops a product called Pepsi AM. You see, no one was buying soda in the morning for breakfast, and the executives at Pepsi thought hey, that should change. They thought if they just made regular Pepsi, but with more caffeine, people would drink that instead of coffee. Yeah, it didn't work. I guess it lasted a whole year and then it just fizzled out. And then Coke really phoned it in. They launched a campaign called Coca-Cola in the Morning. There was no new product. They just wanted to convince people to drink Coke for breakfast, which might sound crazy, but I kind of do this all the time. Don't come for me or anything, because I'm awful. But I sometimes drink Coca-Cola, not sponsored. I sometimes drink Coca-Cola for breakfast, not for breakfast, but instead of coffee, because it wakes me up. Anyone else? I know, I don't know. Wild, huh? I mean, I think it's better than a cup of coffee. Probably less sugar, because I heat up 90% creamer and a little bit of coffee. So to me, the Coke actually makes more sense. I don't know. I mean, if they brought back Pepsi AM, I'd definitely be all over that. Pepsi, get on it. I do like a Pepsi.